What's up, guys? Sorry about that. Had a little trouble here getting it going, but welcome to another edition of RNG, where we're doing some recruit interviews. I've got a fantastic guest with me tonight, one of the top 2025 defensive ends, defensive linemen, however you kind of see him, but he's definitely going to be a force on the defensive line no matter where he's at. This is Wilnerson Telemaque from Monsignor Pace.
What's good? What's good? What's good?
What's good with you, man? How you doing, Wilnerson?
I'm good.
Man, it's great to have you on here, dude. I appreciate you taking the time to jump on and letting these fans get a little more familiar with you.
Yeah, appreciate you for having me on.
Yeah, of course, man. I've been watching your film, man, and I've just been watching your development, and man, it's just you just keep improving, and you just keep I notice you keep getting longer and longer too, man.
Yeah.
So that's kind of curious. What's your current height and weight right now?
6'6", 254 right now.
Okay. Have you had your wingspan measured lately?
Yeah, I went from 82 inches to 84.5 inches now.
Wow, man, it's noticeable on film. Like you can really see where your length comes in and how you can use it. And you're already learning how to use that length too, which is just even a bigger weapon,
Yeah.
So what are some of the off-season workouts that you're doing, this off-season that you feel are going to help you propel your game to another level this coming season?
I would say definitely compared to last year, I've been more in the weight room, more like focused on my craft, stuff like that. I've been working out with like a new trainer. He's Coach Patrick Cooney. He's like our 505 coach, and he's brother of Coach Cooney at UM. So, I got a connection with them and all that.
I mean, I love hearing you got a connection like that. So how'd this last season go for you and your team?
We went 5-5, and it wasn't the best season, but we were just like, it was a first year head coach, so we were just rebuilding the program, and right now we're trying to get back on track.
Okay. Do you remember some of the stats you put up last year?
I don't remember all of them. I had to check back on it.
Yeah, no worries. It's okay. Who is your guys' biggest high school rival over there at Monsignor?
I'd say Northern High School, definitely.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
Yeah.
What was it like last time you guys played Norland?
It was definitely a big time game. I think that was probably, besides maybe Central, was the biggest game of the season. Sadly we lost that game. I think 27-12, but this year we're looking to change that.
Would you say that was the toughest battle you guys faced?
No, I'd say Central was the toughest battle.
Yeah, Central. Yeah, they're just loaded, man, loaded.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of curious here. If you had a favorite drill in practice, what would it be?
Favorite drill in practice, I would say, oh, that's a tough one. A lot of my top, but I would say the definitely one-on-one drills, anything like that. Like we got a team drill where we do, it's like 10 and in, where it's like offense got 10 plays. If they don't score, then it's like they get a punishment like that. I like the competitiveness of that and everything else.
Yeah. And then flipping it, doing a 180 on it. What's the toughest drill?
Anything with sled, like when we gotta put sled around, it's like we gotta maybe either laps around. It depends how much we gotta do.
I can see that, man. No doubt. I can see that. What traits, now you personally here, what traits do you feel make an elite edge rusher, mentally and physically?
Mentally, you just gotta have toughness. You have a thick skin. There's a lot of times you have to mess up, and you still gotta like improve yourself on and on like that. You gotta be a humble guy, hard worker, stuff like that. And you still gotta have like a swag to you. Gotta be able to talk, and like on the field, you get to talk trash to your opponents, like something like that. And then physically, length, balance, and strength. I would say that's like the three like key things.
Now, where all do they use you on defense on your high school team?
Defensive end and defensive tackle. Like I'll be in a 4-3. It depends. Like wherever I could like change the game, I go to.
Okay, so you're willing and open to play either one, just whatever one can impact the game the most.
Yeah, definitely.
That's great. I'm sure your coaches love hearing that you're willing to be adaptable.
Yeah.
When you're on the outside, do you place a high importance on helping contain the run? Is that something that you're focused on? Or are you more focused on, do they get you in there more on pass rushing downs?
I mean, with our defense, I'm really in both, but like we're a run stop defense. So like I'm built to be the run stopper, and then like if we have to do it a pass, my job is to hit the quarterback. So whatever they tell me my job to do, I gotta do it and do it well.
Do you, when you're on the outside and stuff, you ever get stuck, in any situations where you have to cover anybody coming out of the backfield? Does that happen?
Yeah, that happened like lots of time last year where it'd be like you'd be a last minute where you see the running back runs for a flare route or something like that, and you got to like backers not really seeing it, so you got to go there yourself and like try to stop it, and then that
Yeah.
helps you improve yourself, and now you become a cover guy, and then you get to show the coaches you actually have athleticism.
You feeling a little more comfortable now that you've got a little bit of that, actually on game film and stuff and had a chance to really do it in pads.
Yeah, I definitely got way better with it now.
Nice, man. That's a beautiful thing to be able to add to an edge game, I mean, it's not something every edge rusher has, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little game week film study here against offensive tackles. We'll keep you on the defensive end here, okay?
Yeah.
What are some of the first things when you're going to look at film? What are some of the first things that you're looking at from offensive tackles that you're going to face that you want to take advantage of?
It's definitely how they line up, how they shoot their hands, and it would be like how they're like how fast and how wide they kick step. So if it's like a more wide kick step, it's like I could go inside, I could do it either way. And if it's more like inside, secure and tight, then I could work myself outside easier.
Okay. You got confidence going inside and in out.
Yeah.
Like. Now you're not, stepping into a senior leadership role, but I know that you are stepping into some kind of a leadership role, definitely with the talent that you have and the guys below you looking up to you and your own peers on the team. How do you like to show some of your leadership? Are you a guy who likes to, do it by actions or verbal or a little both?
I mean, I'm a little both, you got to show yourself first to gain the trust of your teammates, especially with me on my team now, because we lost some guys to transfer. It's only me and like one other person with offers. So, kids like the young freshmen, they look up to that because they're trying to reach that same thing. Like every time you walk in, they'll be like, oh, I want what you like offers and all that. You got to work hard for it. So it's like that leadership role comes in. And then like our defense, like we honestly think we like, every time we play, it's like we got to be the best defense. So even with the young guys, they come in, like we got spring coming up, we got to beat the offense. And even if they're like our brothers for now, it's like a rivalry with us that it's like leadership. So it's like our top guys at defense can't get beat by the top guys on offense.
So, you still got another, a year away from being, a senior, but talking about that leadership role and your high school legacy, the legacy that you'd want to leave behind when you're done with your senior season and you played your last snap in high school football, that leadership role, how important is that to your high school legacy and what else matters to you? What do you want to be known as when you leave high school? What kind of player?
I want to be someone that's known as like recognizable, like, oh, he did something for my program, or he was a hard worker, and he wasn't like a bad guy on and all. He was like, he could have been like a bad guy on the field, but like off the field, he was a kind and nice person.
I like that answer, man. I like that answer. Describe your game to somebody who has never seen your film.
I would say it's explosion. Like you're gonna see a guy with a nice first step. You're gonna see a guy definitely who can move around, who's gonna play different positions, and it's like with this year film, I don't think not one offensive lineman this season might be able to block me.
Man, you feeling like that, huh?
Yeah.
That's good though, man. You got that hunger, bro. I mean, and now you're gonna be ready to prove it.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you've got a little chip on your shoulder that the recruiting services haven't quite caught up with your talent all the way yet?
What was the question again?
Oh, I was asking, do you feel like you have maybe a little chip on your shoulder because some of the recruiting services really haven't caught up with your talent? And as far as I'm concerned, they haven't caught up with your talent yet.
I would say, yeah, definitely. Even like with that, like that being said, it's all that, and then you got to like prove yourself. That's why I go to camps like Rivals, Under Armour. You got to prove yourself. Even though you're going against the top talent, that's the only way you can prove yourself to be the best.
What is your favorite pass rush move?
I would say the long arm with a slap rip. That'd definitely be one, or you just basic long arm. And I study a little bit more this season with Dwight Freeney, where he'd do the fake spin. That's something I've been like adding to my repertoire.
Okay. Man, yeah, Freeney, dude, he was a guy who was able to get it done when nobody said he could,
Yeah,
just incredible player, dude. Incredible energy too. I'm sure you saw in film, he just never gives up.
Yeah.
So, speaking of players like that. I was just going to ask you, who are some of your favorite players, or maybe just certain guys you like to study?
I would say, well, the number one that pops in my head is like a Calais Campbell. We kind of got the same like size and stature, so it's like that's a guy I can model myself after. You got like I'll say I was a fan of Chase Young, Myles Garrett, like guys like that. Jason Taylor, who I looked at his game because he was more of a skinnier like edge rusher, but like now I got bigger, so I look at other ones like Calais Campbell.
What gets you most excited on game day? Is it pregame stuff with your team, or is there actually something that goes on the field that gets you more excited?
It's just like what gets me excited is like as soon as you walk on the field, like because I'm the biggest guy on the field most of the time, so it's like first it's just looking at that other side, like the O-line and the other team, just looking at me during warm-ups, and it's just it gets me pumped up.
You can tell they're watching you, huh?
Yeah.
Yep. Any pregame traditions, that you might have yourself or that you or your team have?
Pre-game traditions, we put the speaker on, we blast, and you get have a good time, energy, dancing. Everybody getting themselves like locked in for the game.
I want to switch it over here a little bit to some recruiting. I know you've been in contact with the Miami staff. What's your relationship with the Miami staff like right now?
I mean, that's just a great relationship since freshman year. Like, even though like we lost some guys, and like Coach Strong, that was a guy I used to talk to. All those, like, it's still like they kept that connection with me. Coach Salve's he's been talking to me. Coach Taylor and me always in contact. Cristobal, I think Cristobal, like that's been one of the main head coaches that always in contact with me. Coaches like that.
Do you have any plans in the future to possibly get back over to Miami, or you can be looking?
Well, I haven't told anybody else about this, but I'm planning to come back Tuesday on the 11th for a visit.
Okay. All right, man. Our fans will love to hear that, bro. Our fans will absolutely love to hear that. What do you think about Coach Cristobal? You've had a chance, like you said, to speak with him. What do you think about him as a head coach?
I would say, like, from the outside, you would look at him as like a calm guy, well, energetic guy, but also as like a calm. But like when you talked to him, like when we went inside his office, and it was like he just brought back like legends of the game. Like he has knowledge that he could like teach you and all that stuff. And it's like he's in the trenches. He played O-line, so it's like you could relate to him more because he was a big guy compared to other coaches who probably play like skill position.
Cristobal, it was a couple of weeks ago in one of his media pressers. He made the mention that he wants young players to come in and earn snaps and get playing time. When it's time for you to start picking a college, is early playing time something you're interested in?
Definitely. I think I'm not a guy who likes to be on the bench. I'm not a guy who likes to lose. So if I'm like, I want to come in, like there might be a guy older than me, maybe a junior in college, senior in college. I'm coming for a spot, and that's the goal, and that's what I came to do.
Even though you got a little time still, besides that, are there any other factors that go through your mind when you're thinking about, hey, these are the things that I want from the college I attend?
I would say football wise, I mean, like I have to have a connection with the D-line coach. Like it's a guy that's gonna get on me when he has to, and also I can have fun with it. It can't be someone completely straight, but you can be like in the middle with it. And then academically, it's not really my parents that's onto that, and that's the conversation you got with them.
So who are the other schools that have been showing you some love?
I would say Pittsburgh, Ohio State, Florida State a little bit have been like coming in on and off. I would say FIU and FAU just like started talking to me a little bit more.
Okay. You're getting a lot of that local love, yeah?
Yeah.
Well, I got 3 words for you here, man, and it pertains to Miami Hurricanes football. And those are the 3 words, and I want to know what they mean to you. Miami Hurricanes football. What do those 3 words mean to Wilnerson Telemaque?
I think it's a legacy thing. I think it's a program that you hear about, even like your family hear about, like from the '80s with Jimmy Johnson, Dennis Erickson, and Howard Schnellenberger. Like you hear legends from that, like teams, Benny Blades, guys like that. And you go to nowadays where they're trying to bring bring that aura back, like to the program, that energy, where it's like they're trying to be back on top, and I think they will be soon.
So what goals do you have for this upcoming season? Any personal milestones that you want to reach?
I mean, I'll say break the sack record in Dade County right now, which is 30 sacks, I think. That's the goal. And team-wise, just make the playoffs, hopefully have a good season.
go ahead and give a shout out, to any of your coaches, trainers, family, anyone you want to that's been helping you throughout your football, guiding you through football and helping you develop as a player.
I'd say I already mentioned before, Coach Cooney, Coach Cooney, Coach Adam, who run the 5-on-5 thing we got going on right now. Coach Mo was my D-line coach when I first got to Pace. He's at Norland right now. And Coach Walker, the head coach at Pace.
Now, we spoke a little bit about the pregame. You guys, you and your team put on the speakers and stuff like that. What's on the pregame playlist? What are you guys listening to?
NBA Youngboy, like he's like a new up and coming rapper and stuff like that.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
yeah.
Is that mostly what you guys listen to?
Definitely him and like more Miami rappers, like they're from the city. Cause
Yeah.
with me, I used to play at Northwestern my freshman year, so I used to be around mostly guys like that. So it was like,
it's always good to have a little local flavor,
yeah.
So what's next for Wilnerson Telemaque in terms of football? What do you got coming up next on your schedule?
I would say spring's coming up. So right now we're doing our last visits these next 2 weeks, and then we're off to spring. A bunch of colleges showing me love. They said they're coming down to see me. We just gonna see what happens there.
Yep. Well, I just got 2 more questions for you, man. Actually, this isn't even a question here. Go ahead and plug the good fans here with your social media accounts. Let them know where they can find you.
__ I am Will on all my social medias. Like you can find me on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, and you just come check me out, drop a follow, drop likes, whatever you can do to support the brand.
Well, I just got my last question here for you, man. It's the question I ask every single recruit that we bring onto the show, and even when I was working for the Scoop on the U. Why do you love the game of football? Where do you get that passion to go out and compete at a high level on a weekly basis?
I mean, the passion comes from being hungry. There was times where I was like, I look at like rankings on Rivals, and I'm like, yeah, this guy says he's better than me, but can't prove that to me. I look at tackles,
Right.
This guy's supposed to be the top dog. I want that spot. So I'm like, every day I look, like when we play like tackles 4-star, 3 stars, I'm like, why is he ranked that? Like if he can't beat me. So I try to always compete to be the best in the country.
And that's going back to having that little bit of chip on your shoulder like we talked about.
Yeah.
Well, man, keep that chip on your shoulder, man. Stay humble, but keep grinding, bro. I mean, I see the improvement in your film. I've seen the development, dude. I mean, things are happening with you, and I feel like you're on the cusp of having a really big season, bro. I really do.
Appreciate you.
Wilnerson, man, thanks again for jumping on here and letting fans get a little more familiar with you. I'm just starting off here at RNG. You're my second interview that I've had here on the new platform, bro.
Yeah.
So I wanted to make sure I got you on early, bro, because, man, I'm just a huge fan of your game. Like, no joke, man. I'm a huge fan of your game, bro. I think you got a lot of untapped upside, and I think these recruiting services need to catch up and start giving you the grades that you deserve, brother.
I appreciate you, man.
No problem. Well, dude, we will stay in touch because I definitely want to have you back on in the future, so we can update fans and stuff as time goes on. But, man, once again, just thank you so much, man, for giving me this time.
Yeah, appreciate you. Appreciate you for having me on.
Yep. You have yourself a good night, Wilnerson.
Thank you. You too.
All right, guys. That was, in my opinion, one of the most slept on 2025 defensive linemen, defensive ends, as he talked about his staff moves him in and out. With his length, well, of course, depending on how much weight and muscle they haven't put on, but with his length, I could see him doing some damage at defensive end. But of course, you can also use that length on the defensive line now. The game's changed. It definitely has. But yeah, I just want to thank him again for joining us. If you guys aren't familiar with his film, Wilnerson Telemaque, 2025 at a defensive end at a Monsignor pace. This is a kid that I think, like I said, he's on the cusp of blowing up. Hasn't quite happened yet, but if you see the film, you see those flashes, and those are the kind of flashes that you kind of see in the defensive ends that Miami likes to bring in. So many Miami fans, I'd take a look at that because I know you guys and me like to make sure that our pass rush is strong on the outside and our trenches are being handled properly because we want those trench bullies. So thank you guys for joining us tonight over at RNG. I'll be back, man, with more and more of these interviews. We're just getting started. It's expect more coming pretty often, guys. Pretty often. Once again, thank you for joining us, and I will catch you guys here in a couple days.